Ciao! Today we are gonna have a look at the knife piece of an object, piece of metal that is very dear to me. First of all, because it was a present, and second of all, because what it represents, the history and the sentimental value it has. This is a knife with a pretty hefty story that goes with it. So it was given to me by a friend of mine, and this is a beautiful representation of what is called a trench art. For those of you who didn't hear this term before, the trench art is a genre of folk art, items that were created in wartime or from war material. It was made by servicemen or servicewomen or by civilians, and is particularly present with the First World War. The knife that you are seeing here is an example of this kind of trench art. Unfortunately, a lot of trench art has been faked over the years, and instead I'm absolutely certain of the origin of this one, because the friend of mine, he found it directly himself while searching for war treasures. The trench art is described as trench art, although probably just a minority of trench art was made in trenches. Like this one actually was made in a dolina, in a hill that now is part of Slovenia, that back then was a contested territory between what is now Slovenia, back then Italy, and the Austrians. Trench art can be very simple or very elaborate. I think that this one is something in between, because there is already quite a lot of craftsmanship involved in making something like this, and an aesthetic part. Whoever made this had for sure innate or by trade understanding of what design is and beauty, of course. This can be called, I mean, it's a knife, but is not made of steel. As you can see, it is probably, I mean, as you can see, it can still open a letter, and was basically sold or traded as a letter opener. And it is probably even sharper than the Spyderco that I'm testing so far. I mean, as a quick note, that Spyderco is still under testing, because I'm still wondering how to sharpen it. But anyway, let's go back to this knife. The trench art were like this one, like paper knives. Have been usually created as this example out of copper, used to make the driving bands of shells, and this you can still see the part of the shell. Basically, these marks are the marks of the shell, and most likely this shell was used because there are the marks of the shell passing through the barrel of the gun. The brass shells cases could be simply described with tools that they were available to them at the trenches, and in this case has been very elaborate. The work that has been done in this knife has been very very good. You have a handle here, and he left the marks as a handle, and it works perfectly in terms of aesthetics, and even as a reminder of what this object is. and where it comes from. And then from here on, from the ricasso on, I mean, the ricasso is almost inexistent. You can see here a sort of elaborate guard that reminds the works that are typical of Greek temples or the Roman temples. And then there is this beautiful shape of this blade with still some work in it with floral elaboration here with the beautiful flower here. On the back of the blade you have where this object was made, which is in Carso. Carso is a big part, a big region here that crosses all the region of Italy, Friuli, Venezia Giulia and Slovenia, and is actually where this was found. And the Carso is a beautiful place that I suggest you to come and visit, actually, if you have a chance, where the First World War was very intense. Yes, I forgot to mention that this one is, as you can see here, 23rd of May 1917, and this was exactly towards the end of World War I, sorry. Dolina Innominata is a strange name, because the Dolina is a collapse of the ground that creates a sort of cave, and but the Dolina, specifically the Dolina Innominata, I'm not aware where it is, or probably maybe it was even just a place that they couldn't tell because of military reasons. Anyway, having this kind of object in my hands is really incredible, because if I try to put myself in the hands, in the place of where this was made, of the person that was making this, the harsh conditions that were enduring these people, these poor boys that were in the First World War, with okay, in May they didn't have snow, but they encountered a lot of snow in the winter of that year, and of course the war. It is very touching to me, actually. The utility of this knife is almost non-existent. I mean, letters, apart from taxes and other unpleasant messages that come with them, are almost not used anymore, and letter openers are not used anymore. But you know, I'm more than happy to have this kind of knife, so-called knife. It is something that I will always keep with the other knives, even the most expensive one that I have, and I will never trade it or sell it. Just to talk a little bit more about trench art, you have to be careful of what you find out there, because it's been called trench art, even stuff that was made after the Second World War, and a lot of stuff actually has been recreated in more modern times, and not everything that you find online is actually it's real, and most of it actually it is a fake. A lot of First World War trench art still is available today, since 1918, and it is I would like to say that it is even something that we have to be careful the way we think about this. It's not just an object to trade and to buy, but it's something to cherish. And an example of what can be created even during a terrible time, which is a war, and especially nowadays when we have two very bloody wars going on, one here in Europe and one in the Middle East. And it's an example of what humans can do instead of killing each other, to create something that is beautiful, with the purpose that there's no malicious intent. It's just to open a letter. And it actually created from something that is meant to kill and destroy, comes out something that is beautiful to watch, beautiful to handle, and can be a simple statement of, I wouldn't say peace, but at least of normal times that can come out of even of terrible times like the World War. I would like to finish this video, short video, by thanking again my friend, and as a good luck to anybody who is involved in wars, and to hope for all of them that this wars will finish very soon, and a peace deal will be found again. I thank you for watching this video, and ciao!